When U.S. Energy Secretary Ernest Moniz walked into the Great Plains Synfuels Plant, he let it be known he loves to learn about technology. Moniz is visiting the Synfuels Plant after a day-long meeting in Bismarck, an energy review put on by the Department of Energy. The nuclear physicist spent his Friday evening at the plant, touring the model room and getting a drive-through to see the plant full scale.
What's in some sense ironic to me is we hear at a plant that started 30 years ago, and now it's got the technology of the future in terms of gasification.
Moniz was invited to the plant by U.S. Senators Heidi Heitkamp and John Hoeven. Heitkamp used to be a director at Dakota Gasification Company, the Basin Electric subsidiary that owns the Synfuels Plant. Before the tours, Moniz spent time talking with Basin Electric staff and the senators about how the Department of Energy could be helpful. Of note, how the carbon dioxide captured at the Synfuels Plant could be used for enhanced oil recovery in the Basin oil field of North Dakota.
Tripping points have largely been around that value of CO2 and how we can make that a viable product down the road. One of the things we'd like to talk to you about is how does the DOE support that?
In a world in which CO2
has value
A, has value, but B, is one way or another being controlled. Mm-hmm. And in that world, is it competitive?
The conversation veered toward carbon capture on coal-based power plants and the new EPA carbon dioxide rules.
I think the fundamental commitment is to say, you're going to build a coal plant for 50 years. It's not asking for 90% capture. It's asking for somewhere between 30 to 50% capture, depending on what the plant is.
What you're getting at is, how can you expect people to meet this standard when it's not commercially viable to meet this standard in the near term? And I totally agree with that. I think that there is not economic. We took a $100 million grant from DOE, right, and AES here to do back-end carbon capture. We turned the money back. There's no way you could pencil that out and make that work. And it wasn't for lack of trying, because we tried damn hard to get that done. And so now you've got to figure out how you can get coal back into the future energy mix without locking it out in the planning stages.
There is some whining in the coal sector.
He kind of looks at us
that somehow they're being specially targeted. Well, there's some truth in it, in a sense, because it's carbon intense. But I do want to remind that it isn't the only area being hit.
Secretary Moniz got some face-to-face time with the people who run the Synfuels Plant and some perspective on the challenges facing the coal industry.
Developing the technologies that can, in fact, enable coal to play a role in a low-carbon world, including by getting the cost reduction by using the CO2 as a valuable product for enhanced oil recovery. And this is the place to talk about that, since that's what's happening. This place has put like 25 megatons of CO2 underground to produce oil in Saskatchewan.
The Secretary got to see the technology at the largest carbon-based CO2 capture project in the world. But how the Department of Energy can help industry use more of that carbon dioxide remains to be seen. At the Great Plains Synfuels Plant with producer Karen Will, I'm Tracy Bettenhausen.